All right, good morning. Good to see everybody. It's good to be here in Miami this morning. I'm honored to be joined this morning by our United States Attorney for the Southern District, Jason Quinones, FDLE Special Agent in Charge, John Vecchio, and our Assistant Statewide Prosecutor, Richard Montai, who's being promoted and is going to be spearheading the Public Integrity Unit that we're developing in the AG's office and are here to announce today. As we've seen things across the country, in Minnesota, money going towards these non-existent daycares, as our CFO has shined the light on the billions of waste and abuse across the state, especially at the local level, taxpayer dollars not being spent in the best interest of our taxpayers, as the public at home has questions and loses trust in our government officials, the public servants that are supposed to be operating with the trust of the people, fighting and working for the people. We felt the need to develop a unit focused on this specifically. We have a great working relationship with FDLE and their efforts to combat public corruption. We're going to ramp that up and make sure that in our statewide prosecution office, where we find evidence of misappropriations and abuse, we are prosecuting to the fullest. At the end of the day, taxpayer dollars are sacred. And here in Florida, we're going to continue to lead the way, and we're going to show the public that government officials, they have to live up to that duty, that responsibility, that trust that comes from the people. A lot of this work might involve concurrent jurisdiction or overlapping jurisdiction at the federal level, so we're delighted to have a great partnership with the U.S. Attorney's Office, and we'll be working side by side with them as we investigate and hold wrongdoers accountable. So today I'm announcing that we're going to be doing a review audit of all legislative appropriations over the last couple of years, as well as expenditures, grants, procurements at the local level, to look out for evidence of criminal activity and wrongdoing. We'll be looking for exploitations, bribes, kickbacks, conflicts of interest, evidence of money being spent on special interests, personal gain, rather than for the good of the public. We'll continue these investigations. We're going to be transparent for the people of Florida. And again, like I always say, we're going to prosecute to the fullest. We're best blessed here in Florida to have the best law enforcement at the local level, our statewide law enforcement, our prosecutors. Florida's never had lower crime rates because of our commitment to rule of law. We prosecute to the fullest. We put bad guys away. We're not lenient with these plea deals. You see these tragedies across the country, brutal murders and stabbings at the hands of people that have been released time and time again. Not in Florida. We're going to put people away for as long as possible, protect our communities, and keep fighting to make this the safest state to raise a family. So I think this Public Integrity Unit is going to be a great thing for our law enforcement, our state, for the public at home. Floridians should rest assured that when it comes to their taxpayers, we are going to treat those as sacred, and anybody that's going to misspend, misappropriate, or take advantage of our public citizens is going to have to deal with us. So thank you for being here, and I'll turn it over now to our U.S. Attorney.
Thanks, James. Good morning, everyone. The Southern District of Florida has a storied history of prosecuting complex financial frauds and public corruption. For decades, we have stood on the front lines when taxpayer dollars have been stolen, when public trust has been abused, and when officials forget who they serve. That history is not symbolic. It guides us in the way we operate every day. And that tradition continues. For the first quarter of the fiscal year 2026, the Southern District of Florida is number one on charged cases, charged indictments across the nation. We are number one in charged defendants across the nation. This reflects disciplined investigations, coordinated partnerships, and prosecutors who move cases forward with urgency and precision. Our mission is steady and clear: protect Americans, restore impartial justice, and defend the rule of law. This includes financial fraud and public corruption. When taxpayer dollars are diverted for private gain, a federal crime is committed. We will investigate and prosecute accordingly. The Florida Attorney General is a strong and steady partner. These cases often involve complex and multi-circuit by nature. They require coordination with federal, state, and local authorities. Our teams work side by side with Florida state attorneys and our local law enforcement authorities to follow the facts wherever they lead. The partnership between our offices makes our work stronger and ensures that the people of Florida and our taxpayer dollars are safe and secure. I thank you all for your time today, and I'm going to pass it off over to our Special Agent in Charge, John Vecchio.
Good morning. My name is John Vecchio. I'm the Special Agent in Charge for the Florida Department of Law Enforcement's Miami Regional Operations Center. At FDLE today, we are encouraged by the Attorney General's announcement. FDLE prides itself in conducting unbiased investigations to ensure public and elected officials that serve our country, communities in the state of Florida with integrity and excellence. Our agents and analysts are dedicated to investigating public corruption cases, which by their nature are time-consuming and protracted. FDLE will continue to work with the Office of Statewide Prosecution, the U.S. Attorney's Office, to protect the integrity of our public offices and to hold the public officials accountable. FDLE agents look forward to working with Assistant Statewide Prosecutor Rich Manti and to seeing their investigative efforts brought to resolution. Thank you.
Morning. I want to thank, first off, the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney for making this possible today. When leaders like them collaborate and get together and work together, the citizens benefit, and it sets a good example for all the rest of us. Florida has 67 counties, approximately 400 municipalities, government servants at every level, school boards, and, of course, non-government organizations. They're all entrusted with the public's fisc. They're all entrusted with the public's power and authority. Unfortunately, as far back as Plato in the Republic, it's become necessary that people have someone to guard the guardians, and that's kind of the mission of this new unit today. This isn't about just law enforcement. It's about protecting democracy itself. Money and power are the most valuable currency we have as a political body, and we all work together to make sure that currency is spent in service of the citizens. Those of us in law enforcement who take it seriously, we realize the need to keep the people's house clean. And those who would betray that public trust, they're going to be called to account. This press conference is happening here in Miami. This is the Southern District of Florida. I know where Tallahassee is. I'm based in Jacksonville, and I say all that to say this. There is no corner, no rock anywhere in this state where that sort of thing is going to be ignored or people think they can get away with it. We are here to work with our new partners. I look forward to doing that, and I look forward to ensuring that there's a reckoning coming for anybody who's going to abuse their offices. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Rich is one of the best prosecutors in our office, so we're glad to have him leading up this important mission. And you've got just an outstanding U.S. attorney here in Jason. I got to tell you, we recently had a case where the federal government, HSI, and DOJ reached out. There was a tip on a possible human trafficking incident. The Biden administration for several years had kicked it around and decided, they weren't going to go forward and press charges. We got a call over the last year. We acted on it quickly. We worked with some very brave victims that provided testimony and witness that stood face to face with their abuser, and thankfully we were able to secure over a 100-year sentence for this human trafficker who's going to go away for a long time. So we got a great partnership with the Trump Department of Justice, the federal government. We work hand in hand here in Florida. You don't see the mayhem and chaos in the streets because we all understand the same mission. We're fighting for our citizens, our families, our kids. We're going to work together. We're going to coordinate. Everybody puts their egos to the side to just get the job done. So specifically, regarding specific complaints, cases, we're not able to talk about those at this time until they reach resolution. But if there are other general questions, happy to take a couple. Yes, sir.
Yes. Good morning, Mr. State Attorney, and thank you so much for your service, all of you. Thank you, sincerely. Respectfully, is your this new unit going to also investigate allegations of fraud in our Florida judiciary and the judicial system, sir?
We will be receiving those complaints and reviewing. We do have the JQC that has specific jurisdiction when it comes to reprimands and findings of fraud, but we are happy to support and investigate. And yes, if there are complaints out there, whether it's judges, officials, local, state, people at home should feel free. If you're aware of wrongdoing, please call our office and we'll snap to it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
How often do you commute to UF for your job, and have you ever used a state plane to get there?
It's funny, it's the left-wing fake news that seems to be the only people concerned with me working at night as a teacher. Like a lot of Americans at home, I work day and night. I work 80-plus hours for the state fighting crime. We got record results. And I also do teach. I was honored to get hired as a part-time teacher and member of the UF faculty. I work many hours a week. I drive to Gainesville. I teach 2 classes this year. I also advise and work for the Center for Government and Law and Government, where I advise students on how to engage in public service, how to litigate with and against the state and federal governments. I help with career advice and connections, help people get clerkships. It's an honor. I'm proud of my alma mater. I work hard. I'm still making less, unfortunately, than the first-year associates at my old law firm, but you know what? That's what public service is. So I'm honored to do it. I'm honored to teach. Hopefully the kids get something out of it because I definitely, I value working with them in the education.
So you've never used a state plane to get to that job, right?
I drive to UF for class. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
For voters who may say your salary solely at the University of Florida is a little higher than other adjunct professors, what would you say back to that?
I think it's important to know, I'm not just some guest lecturer. I am part of the faculty. I do teach a couple classes. Some professors, I think, teach more. Some teach less. I think I make well below the average salary for a law professor. Like I said, I'm committed. I want to see UF go up in the rankings. I think it's an outstanding school with outstanding students, and hopefully I'll be able to, convince a couple of the bright ones, to come into the AG's office or work for our great U.S. attorney or prosecutors and give back to the state.
Thank you so much. And you said you drive there. Are you able to say if it's state-funded or personally funded?
It seems like this is what the left news media wants to talk about. I'm focused on fighting crime and public corruption. All right, thanks, everybody.